Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Thank you to everyone who's been supporting me, who's been commenting, who's been sharing, who's been telling me stories and writing to me and just being so supportive. I appreciate you so much, way more than you know. It got to be a little bit, and that's to be expected for those of you who just think that I'm just chaos for this. And I did want to come back on and just say that I really hope that this prompted you to have a conversation with your own family and that you decided to give your family or your friends or whoever it is a safe space to be able to talk about this in these conversations, because we normally, typically, and I'm talking about from the African American community, we really decide to sweep these things under the rug, and we have to stop doing that, and we have to have these conversations, and we have to talk about these things in these situations. As much as sometimes I feel like it was negative, it was positive in the sense that we actually had these conversations. So that I'm really grateful for. And another thing that I want to say is that telling your story after being silenced is not an easy task. You know, I wish that I could just beautifully talk about the situation and it makes sense and everything, every piece is put together. It's not how it works. When you've been silenced and when you start telling your story, it's like peeling an onion, you know? Sometimes the first time you tell the story, it's messy, pieces aren't together, but you're finally using that part of your voice to start speaking. And then you peel the next layer off and it gets easier to talk about. So I wanted to showcase that in itself so that whoever is going through what I'm going through, whoever's been silenced, but they're learning to use your voice, you can understand too that it's not a journey that's just an easy journey. It's something that you have to work on and work towards. And the more you tell your story, the better you get to tell the story. I don't even know if I want to get into it all again, just because there's a lot of things that go into deciding to tell your story. When you decide to tell your story, it's going to affect somebody else, and someone else can feel hurt and someone else can feel betrayed, and it can lead to so many things. But for me, I am so happy. I feel freer. My voice feels easier. My throat feels lighter. I don't know. I just feel like I don't have to carry this anymore because it was never mine to carry in the first place. But I just feel so much lighter. I just feel free, and I'm proud of myself actually for what I've done, because it was not easy. It's not easy to do it, but it's also not easy to do it when your family is who they are with the platforms that they have, and then putting it on the TV show. And I also want to commend my own family for doing that as well, because we are really showing you what is real life. This is real life. Families go through things. It's ups, it's downs. It's not always easy. It's not always a trajectory to the moon or at an incline of greatness. You have your ups and you have your downs. And so I also appreciate them for even putting it on the show. And as much as a bad rap that it's getting, I really hope, and I've seen it, that we're having these conversations about this topic. It's so important. This was not the first time of me telling this story. This has been years. It started me telling this story when my sister passed away. So this is years of me getting to this point, to this layer. I always stand true by what I said. I always stand true by what happened. And I don't know if there was a right or wrong way, the way I handled it. I don't think that there was. And with what I speak with my therapist with, there was no right or wrong way to tell the story. I just had to tell the story. And I knew that I was going to get repercussions, and I knew that I was going to get backlash, and I knew that I wasn't always going to be supported, but it wasn't about anybody else. It was all about me. And now there's this part of me that's just prepare my body for kids, that I just get to pass on a legacy to my kids where I'm not holding on to that anymore. It's not inside of me. It doesn't live within me. And I always want my kids to have something better than what I had. Truly, I've forgiven everybody in this situation. It's something that for me is in the past. I believe that a lot of people were hurt. I'm not the only victim in this situation. But I just really hope that if you're a mom, if you're an aunt, if you're a woman, that you can make the choice to just listen to the other person or the child actually in this situation, because it was a child, that you're able to sit with the child, give them a safe space to talk, listen to them, and make a judgment of how to handle the situation that gives the child safety. I didn't have safety within my family or within my home. I didn't have I wasn't safe. I was not safe. I don't ever want another woman to feel like that, especially if you're a kid and something happened to you that you didn't ask for and you've just had to deal with it. And I think that anybody who has been silenced, who has had something happen to them, I just hope that my story shows you that it's not always easy. But I still hope that you find the courage to do it, even though sometimes it's not going to go how you plan it. Even though people are not always going to support you, you still have to tell your story. And everybody's story is worthy and deserving of being heard. Every single person's story is worthy to be heard. So I just hope that I'm a real example of what happens in any family. Use me as an example of like what's the worst that could happen, because it wasn't even that bad, but use me as an example for you if you need to tell your story. Use me. I did this in public so that you could see how it is, so that you can see the journey, you can see my journey. People are going to have their opinions. People are going to say what they're going to say. You're not always going to get the support from the people that you need. You're not always going to get the support from the people that you think you need, but you are going to have support from somebody in the world. And it may not be your family, and that is totally okay. I am an example of that. You may not get support from your family, and that is totally fine. You still have the right to use your voice. You still have the right to talk. You still have the right to say how you feel. The world will try to silence you. People will try to silence you, but the world needs your voice and not your silence. And I will stand by that till the day that I die. So thank you all so much for being here with me, being on this journey with me, watching it. Thanks for the judgment. Thanks for the criticism. Thanks for the people that supported me. Thanks for the people that said, I understand you. Be kind to yourselves. And please, if you have not already, own family and ask them about this topic, about this situation, about this, please, I encourage you to do so. And if someone says, yes, this has happened to me and I didn't tell you, please give them a safe space. Please allow people
So guys, this
safe
is pretty much
spaces
a
to talk about
follow-up
the spaces.
video from
Please, like
Ashlee's
it's
most recent
a
video in which she
gift.
talked
So yeah,
about her time in the United States. If you guys recall, Tamar paid for her to come over. She shot on Tamar's podcast. Now, Ashlee was, giving thanks for, the Braxtons, her, well, I would say to Tamar for actually inviting her, but we didn't really see anything. So we really didn't see anything that they actually talked about. And I'm really not sure, what was the reason for Ashlee coming, because I would assume maybe after Ashlee's father sent the cease and desist, maybe they decided not to air it. But then I don't believe that they really talked about much, anyways, because although it seems like very much like Ashlee's father is very guilty of all of, a bunch of different things with various family members, it just seems like people in this family are still trying to protect him. Now, if you guys listen to her video, she pretty much said if you are a mom or an aunt, okay, aunt is the word that we're looking for. She said that you should make a choice to listen, especially if there is a child involved. As you guys are aware, Ashlee was a child, a teenager, however you want to, rephrase it. She still was not an adult. Ashlee spoke about, not having a safe place or not feeling like she had a safe place to be heard. She said that she didn't even feel safe within her own family. And ultimately, she speaks about being forced into silence. Now, with regards to, this video, it seems like, another reason why she's doing it is for other people who may have, been in a situation where they feel like, they want to tell their story, which I totally agree. If you are feeling, as if you're in bondage because of something that happened to you and you've been holding it, I agree. Let it loose, let it go. And then if you guys recall, Ashlee did not just come out and start telling her story. In fact, she's been talking about this story for years. So it was very interesting that Toni Braxton acted as if she had never heard about this story and was pretty much like, well, what is Ashlee talking about? When Ashlee had been talking about this story for years.
Hold on. My niece Ashlee, who we love very much, posted her videos on social media with some accusations about her family. My family was a little surprised.
Well, there was a lot going on the internet.
Tamar announced that she would be interviewing our niece Ashlee on Tamar's podcast. I didn't think it was a good idea.
I am getting Ashlee here. You're not going to make me feel bad about that. I wanted her to come to a safe place to tell her story.
I moved on and he found someone else and he married my stepmom. But, it was not a good relationship. He was physically abusive to her.
Okay.
And then she was physically, mentally, and emotionally abusive to my sister and I.
Right. And did you have contact with mum, like after mum had gone?
No. Interesting enough, I never had contact with her. She also has 3 kids.
Wow.
So she moved on.
Yeah.
But I would sometimes see her sister and her mom and her dad sometimes.
Yeah.
I had a girl cousin, but it was always up and down. It was always some sort of a roller coaster. But after that, I never seen her ever again.
Wow. So was it like you sort of like, I know she's out there and it kind of through the grapevine, you might hear something like, oh, she's out there doing this, that, and the other, but she's just not reaching out to you.
No, not reaching out at all. And no one talked about it either.
Okay.
And she had asked her family, like her mom, her dad, her family, not to talk about us. So we did not exist.
Wow.
Yeah. And so with my stepmom, it was a really interesting life because for me, I was super excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a new mom. And she put her name on our papers and things like that.
Okay.
And so there was moments that were great. And I have 2 half brothers. So love them. Everything is awesome. But how do you deal with physical, mental, emotional abuse? I would tell my dad, hey, I'm being abused.
Mm-hmm.
And not, like I wet the bed and I had to lick it up. Mm-hmm. Or maybe I was slapped so hard down the stairs. Or maybe I was punched in my face. Or maybe she held my ear and decided to scream in it for the next 2 minutes. I mean, it kind of was up and down.
Right.
And if I told my dad, then he would come home. He's a nurse.
Right.
So he worked the day shift. He would come home. And at night, it was so traumatic to listen to them physically beating each other in the next room. So what do you do? Do you tell and risk, watching someone else get beat? No fun.
Yeah.
And then having the aftermath of it turned onto you. So it's just a never ending cycle and circle.
In terms of the things that caused animosity between the two of them, was that related to the way in which she was treating you and your sister? Or was that their own issues that were separate to the rest of the family dynamics?
It was both.
Okay.
It was both. So there would be marital issues that didn't have anything to do with us. But then I don't know why my stepmom, she referred to my sister and I as the N-word.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were the N-word, and we were also referred to as she, they, or them. That was like our names.
Yeah.
And so there was always something that she, they, or them did that perhaps she didn't care for.
Okay.
And then that's how it would transfer.
And what did that do? So you had stepbrothers. Did they come with her? Were they part of the package, or did they come along later?
They came along later.
Okay.
So my sister is 3 years younger than I am. My oldest younger brother is 4 years. And then after that, it's 8 years.
Okay. Okay.
So they came after. And it's unfortunate that even now we don't have a relationship, because you were just pit against each other.
Yeah.
So the household was like all for one and one for all. You better guard up.
Wow.
And it's not really healthy.
No, definitely not. No. You know, I was wondering, like, what would the effects of those circumstances be on the younger brothers? Because it would be very difficult for them to, I guess, develop respect towards you and your sister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't see eye to eye, because the way they see life is very different than the way I've seen it. And so for them, it's hard, which is understandable.
Yeah.
When I'm speaking these things about their mother, these are quite harsh accusations
of course.
that I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if you were not there to grasp what was happening, then perhaps you think and be like, I think this is a little far-fetched.
Yes.
And that was something that was really hard for me, because I come from this family. My stepmom is great at just being the PTA mom. You know, she really was there for us in times of school. And same with my dad. My dad is a nurse. He's established, he's distinguished. So even trying to go to school to talk to the counselor about it, it was always like, are you lying?
Yeah. Yeah. It, from the outside looking in,
right,
it looked like a nice shiny family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you ever have anyone that kind of stepped in and advocated for you or spoke up for you, or, you know, a point at which you shared this with someone who took it more seriously?
Mm-hmm. There were some family members that tried their best.
Okay.
Grandma, for instance, and a few of my aunts to come in and step in. But, you know, I'm never angry or upset with them. They tried their best. It was the moment where my dad would come back and say, like, hey, guys, this is her house too. So they would come up to our house and they would confront my stepmom and be like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
And when my father then would in return call and say, hey, this is her house, don't show up here this way.
Right.
How does that work? You know? Yeah. So I had to learn very quickly that it was just me, myself, and my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, I didn't see that my dad was a part of the picture of the problem.
Yeah.
I just thought it was my stepmom.
Uh-huh.
You know, to have someone even say to you, the reason why your mom left is because of you. And, you know, that was like her fuel as to why we were such bad kids.
Yeah. So
then you just take that on as an adult, and taking that on and not getting the mental health that you need really shapes you into someone who's not really able to function.
Yeah. And you're the oldest, right? You had a younger sister. Mm-hmm. Do you think that caused you to take this on in a different way?
For sure. You know, and I can remember when all of my siblings at one point were hiding underneath of my bed.
Yeah.
You have so much responsibility because you just want them to be safe. I mean, it's very traumatic listening to your parents physically hit each other or anything.
Yeah.
But then there's also that weird sense in our family of where one for all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was really, really hard. But my sister was my best friend through it all.